pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Payroll checks and the vendor checks, are they signed off?
They are good to go.
Okay.
Yep.
And the minutes, is anybody reviewed the minutes from the March 23rd meeting?
Yes.
Arnie,
Okay.
Jordan and I both signed those. Those are good to go.
So we need to make a motion to accept it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Henry Baker, solid waste letter.
Arnie?
All right, sorry, we had to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes. And Jordan motion, I'll second that.
I vote yes.
Vote yes.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Next thing is the Penny Baker solid waste letter. Are you guys comfortable with that?
I actually didn't completely understand what that was. Does anybody have an explanation?
It's just, they control all the towns around in the Penny Baker. If you look at the letter, they're all listed on the bottom.
Yeah.
We're all part of this one program.
And
And they
could you
do,
speak up, please?
we're all part of the Penny Baker solid waste community. And all this letter is doing is saying that you support their efforts in trying to keep costs down regarding recycling, things like that.
Okay. So there's no reason for us to not sign
No,
this. So
no,
somebody should-
it's just a support letter so that they can get funding, from other places.
Okay. All right, so I haven't signed that. Do you have that, Andrew, in the packet?
I
It's
do,
only-
and I haven't signed it yet either, but it's
Does it
at,
require two people, or?
it indicates, hang on one second. It does have a spots for all three selectmen, but it doesn't necessarily indicate that it would need,
So
need
two
a
of us
quorum
can
there,
sign.
so.
It was just two of us can sign them.
Okay, that's fine. I guess I'll make a motion to accept this.
Well, you don't.
Yes.
I think you can just sign it.
Okay.
I think all you got to do is
You don't
sign.
need to.
Okay. All right, that's all set, Arnie.
Okay, now we have three purchase requirements, or requests for the highway department.
All right, so I have the,
The three commitments and things.
yeah, so I have the quotes for the roller. For what I can see, Paul, do you want to say something before?
All I want to say is it's not necessarily that I'm renting it right now.
Yeah.
I am giving you the prices of what it costs per month, so that I can reserve it. Because when we start graveling roads, I need a roller.
Okay, he indicated, you probably saw the email, Arnie, we will be renting 1 month in spring and one, sorry?
I'm sorry, I reviewed these three things. I think on these three purchases there for the roller,
Right,
the roller is a good idea to, once you grade the roads, you got a compact, and they're gonna last a lot longer. You get 20% erosion of gravel per year, and we gotta decrease that.
yeah, so it looks like for the,
Which,
sorry,
question is, Paul, which roller company do you feel most comfortable? Look like the one from Concord, look like the best.
Yeah, it's definitely the best price, per month. I think the total price included the, delivery and pickup too. And I just wanna, Arnie said, like, rolling the roads when we're grading them. I'm not rolling the roads when we grade them right now, for the simple fact that the roller's gonna be sitting around because I won't have time to do it without a third person. Because when I rent a roller, I want somebody to run it. I can't have it sitting around for 2, 3, 4 days, or a day here and there. So I am gonna grade the roads without rolling them. And we'll see how it goes.
So do you have to rent it for a month? They don't do by the week or anything?
Oh, they do, but it's, I believe that, Chapel Tractor, they were the cheapest, and if you rent it by the week, it is like $800 and some odd a week, or it's like $3,100 for a month. Am I don't have it in front of me.
I see, I already did the calculations out, Arnie, it looks like the, was it the Chapel Tractor, they look like they're the cheapest, and, I mean, I'd make a motion to accept the Chapel Tractor, rental. It looks like it's the cheapest, so,
I would second that motion.
okay.
You have a line item for this anyways, right?
Yeah, for equipment rental.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's just over 2,000, so
Yep.
I
it's
think-
supposed to get your approval.
May I just say something? I don't think we need motions for these, it's just a matter of approving which vendor you wanna go through, because he already has approved appropriations for those
Okay,
expenses.
maybe it's because of the pricing that he wanted to come to us, cause it's
Well,
a few $1,000s.
is that,
I have to get, I'm supposed to get board approval of anything over
yeah, it's just board
$2,000.
approval.
Okay,
Just approval,
Yeah, it doesn't
give
need
me
a
permission
motion.
to say
Yeah.
yes, go ahead. You
So
got
I would
permission.
I think we're
I would-
approving the chapel group.
Right, so we just approve chapel.
Okay. Intent to cut for Clark, is that been signed off on?
Arnie, we have those two other, purchases
Oh,
for
I'm
Paul.
sorry, yes,
That's okay.
you're right, two others, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so we do have the two tires for the grader. Looks like their recommendation was for Pete's Tire. The Pete's Tire honestly was the cheapest price, and it looks like, I think I talked to you about this before, Paul, and essentially everything's the same for all of them, right?
It is, the only thing that's different on all of those is labor,
Okay.
the labor difference.
Okay,
And it can change, that is not, you can see that they quote a labor price per hour, it can change, they are split rims and things go wrong with split rims, and it's just basically an estimate.
So what's the,
No,
you're
that's
gonna
fine,
take
the
the
tire-
rim and they're gonna put a tire on?
No,
it?
they come here and do it, they
don't-
come to the shop and do it.
Okay, so but it's a tire without a rim, they're gonna keep the existing rim and put a tire on?
Oh no, the two front tires on the grader are getting replaced. So they literally, you have to watch it, it's pretty cool, they don't take the rims off the grader, they just jack it up and replace the tire right on, pull it off the rim, put it on.
Okay,
so the estimate on the price, which was the cheapest through Pete's, was $27.90. So,
have you dealt with them before?
Yep, that's who I've actually been dealing with most of our tires now.
Okay.
all
I'll go
right,
with that,
I'm
and
gonna-
everybody else will.
yeah, I'm gonna sign that at the, sound good to you, Arnie, as well?
Seems to be.
All right.
There's the last one right
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, the last one for Paul is magnesium chloride.
And I'll speak to that real quick. So last year, what you guys did for me was, you just gave me approval to buy it throughout the year, because I never know how much is gonna come on the delivery.
Carl, could you speak up, please?
Yeah, last year you guys approval to order the calcium chloride as needed, because anytime I get a delivery, it could be anywhere between 3,500 and 5,500 gallons, it depends on the truck. So I never know how much I'm gonna get, I don't know what I'm gonna get it, so I just do this every year, so I get approval to, whenever I need it, I get it.
Do you know how many gallons approximately you used last year? You know, ish?
I do. Last year, I bought, I believe, around 9,000 gallons last year. But I also had about 4,000 left over from the year before.
Okay. What's your
I
current inventory, do you think?
have about 4,000 gallons this year too.
So we're likely to have to purchase some more later, maybe?
Probably gonna have to purchase upwards of another 10,000 plus gallons.
Okay,
Ernie, you have any thoughts on that?
Yes? Yeah, I make a motion, we just accept this price and purchase this, yes.
Just so you know, it's cheaper than last year too.
It's the same company, right?
It's the same company, it's like 4 cents a gallon cheaper though.
How come? Right, yeah.
Just, there wasn't a call for it last year, but still have a lot of it left over.
Okay.
Does anybody want to second that?
I'll second it, and I wanted to bring something up though. And this is me being maybe a little bit new, the price versus, is this something that we would need 3 bids on?
Good
Since
luck.
it's- What's that?
Yeah, you can.
It's not something,
I don't know who you're gonna get. There's only one other company that I know of, Allstate, that does it. And I called them and their price was like 13 cents a gallon more than them. Plus we had tanks from them and this company gives you the tanks. I didn't even go there.
alright,
I didn't even go there.
We're gonna keep the same policy as last year, we're just gonna use it on the roads where people,
I'm not
Ask
gonna use
for
it. I have a list still of people that did not want it near their house last year. I'm gonna abide by that again this year.
perfect.
I don't know if we actually need to vote on that, but I'll vote yes. We already motioned.
Yes.
We shouldn't have to.
We like to make sure you're busy.
I suppose we're
Well,
a
it's,
little bit, go ahead and sign that. Okay, Arnie, we're done with, the 3 purchase requests.
Okay. Next thing is the intent to cut with Clark. Jordan, did you?
I signed all the
that's signed
intents.
up on?
I
Yep.
signed all 3.
Yep, Clark is good, Young's is good, and
Thompson.
Thompson is also good.
Yeah, all set.
Okay, good, good. Now, next thing on my list is the review of the 3 highway employee applications, but we're gonna go into non-public for that. So if it's okay with everybody, I'd like to do that to the end.
Let's
I
do that
said-
at the end.
Arnie, I sent you an updated agenda.
Arnie, we had, sorry, Arnie, we had one more agenda item apparently, I don't, it's, regarding timber tax,
Davis,
for Davis.
which we signed.
Yep, we did sign that as well.
Non-public is scheduled to last.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but on my list here, I've got the highway employees, I just want to put that last.
oh, okay,
We've got an updated list.
Okay.
okay. Alright, yeah, so the timber tax, that's all signed.
Okay. Now we'll go to the report of the town officials. Is Wally there?
Yes.
Okay, Wally, could you give your report?
Sure, I can, thank you. So, I want to give an update on the illegal dumping report that we talked about a couple weeks
Good,
ago.
I don't have to.
Yes, Paul, thank you, and Alan.
Wally, could you speak up, please?
Yes, the illegal dumping report that we took a couple weeks ago, I'm gonna take my mask off because I've had my 2 shots and
I'll try to turn this on, Arnie.
okay. So, the illegal dumping report we took a couple weeks ago, I had, Paul and, Alan come and help me on the site over on Buffalo Road. And it was quite a little project, but we did manage to clean that entire site up. And we're keeping an eye on it now, but I wanna thank Paul publicly. We actually had to use the backhoe and the dump truck. And all 3 of us got down over the bank and did some digging and tearing, and we got everything cleaned up there.
Tires, television.
Yeah, tires, television sets,
Computers, boom boxes.
you name it, it was down there. But nothing identifiable, unfortunately, so doesn't leave us much to go on, but at least it's cleaned up. We took care of it for the town, and they sent it to the transfer station. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll monitor it as closely as we can. We're starting a little more aggressively with our proactive motor vehicle patrols. Some people some people have recognized that already and thanked us for doing it. We're doing proactive speed patrols around the elementary schools sporadically, both in the mornings and afternoons. That's being well received by the people who are picking up their students and dropping them off. So it's good to have them give us an attaboy when they see us. We handled a call where a vehicle was ironically struck by a large wild bird on Route 25 here a week ago. And I stopped and helped the female operator out. There wasn't any damage to the vehicle, but unfortunately the bird didn't fare so well, so we took care of that for her. We took a report from a Wentworth resident, and I want to emphasize on this a little bit. I did do a posting on my webpage, because I know you were going to ask me, Arnie. This is a time of year, especially with income taxes coming back and stimulus checks being sent out, where people are being solicited by companies on the internet and by phone regarding refinancing. This individual corresponded with a financial institution over the internet and sent them $1,150 to refinance some things that she had through another lending institution. As it turned out, the organization that she was dealing with was not legitimate, and it was an internet scam. So now she's out $1,150, and I literally have no way to follow up on this. Some of these internet scams actually start in a third world country, and they use routers to make it seem like they're dealing with somebody in the United States, and unfortunately they're not. One of the indicators, and I can't emphasize on this enough, if someone is asking you to go to Walmart or Target or somewhere and purchase gift cards, and then contact them with the numbers on the gift cards, and then the SKU numbers on the back of that gift card, that's probably not a legitimate business. That's how these people wind up accessing monies, and when you do that with them, they can actually access that gift card or the money that's on it from anywhere in the world. So I just want to caution people, do your due diligence. One of the biggest things that you can do is contact the Better Business Bureau, run their name through the Better Business Bureau, and they'll tell you whether they're even a legitimate business, a licensed business, or someone that may be in business but doesn't have a very good track record. So I did put a bulletin out on my webpage. I'm hoping that people are gonna have an opportunity to see that. You know, my heart goes out to this person, but sometimes we just gotta use a little bit more common sense when we're dealing with money and businesses that are over the internet. There's a lot of criminals out there that are capitalizing on social media. I was contacted by a property owner, actually when Paul helped me out with this as well. Last week, he had been notified by his security company and his camera company that his house may have actually been damaged by a fallen tree. So we got there, and sure enough, a large pine tree had actually broken off and came down and took off the corner of his house and the front section of his pressure treated deck. Fortunately, it wasn't something where he had to come right up here and have it taken care of, but I sent him pictures, and he was able to contact people to make sure that it was secured and take care of making sure that there wasn't any other damage that was going to be done. So that's it for me, Annie.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Chief Ames?
Chief Ames isn't gonna be here tonight, Arnie.
Okay, did he get a report into you, Linda?
No, he didn't.
Okay, I'll follow up with Jeff. Paul, you're next up with the road agent's report.
We are currently swept roads last week. We did a final sweep of the roads on Monday, I believe, yesterday. We're currently in the process of washing and cleaning our bridges from the winter sand and salt. I have, just this afternoon, I'm contacted a few contractors, a project that I've got that I'd like to get done on Ellsworth Hill. I also contacted a landowner that abuts the road to try to get permission to straighten out that corner just a little bit, put some better drainage in there. We will be upgrading roads. Probably Thursday we'll start grading all the roads, starting in, we're gonna start on Buffalo Road, Augustine Zone, and go from there. It is the season, we are busy, busy, busy. I did find today, that we have a bridge, Rowantown Road Bridge, the joint between the concrete and the road has crumbled apart. One side's a lot worse than the other. I did contact a company this afternoon. I'm gonna have to cut the road about 3 feet is what you cut it to make the joint, and they put an emulsion in there and repaint
What
it.
kind of emulsion you gotta put in there? Is it rubberized?
Well, they gotta clean the concrete really good. They probably clean it, I mean, it's nothing that I'm gonna do, but they probably clean it with like an acetone, the concrete, so that the emulsion, you put the emulsion on there and it binds the pavement to it better, so it doesn't pull apart as easy. But it's right at the road joint. It happens to every road, town roads, state roads, highways. The joints at the bridges always start to fail. So I'm gonna try to get ahead of it a little bit. And I think there's Rowantown Road Bridge, the bridge at North Dorchester Road, and I'll check other bridges tomorrow as I go, but they're not even starting to do that kind of work, he said, for another 2 or 3 weeks. So, I mean, we're probably looking into June or July before it gets done anyway. Just letting you know, on top of that, we're getting there. I guess that's all I got.
Okay, how about the East Side Road, Bridge, there, over Martin's Brook?
I don't see any difference, obviously. I mean, we're gonna replace the bridge runners this summer. They're getting pretty worn out. We're gonna replace those. I'm gonna go, I usually check the bridges out as I wash them. That should be on my list tomorrow. Whatever bridges we don't get tomorrow, I'm gonna start doing by myself, I guess, Thursday, Friday, while Alan's grading. That's where we're at.
Did we finally get that reposted? Is there a sign up there now with a weight limit?
Oh, yeah, I put it up last fall. Yeah, I don't know if people are really adhering by it, but that's their problem.
Well, the liability for the town though is taken.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
That was on my list.
Yep.
But that's a good point, though, a lot of people are avoiding that bridge, though.
Give a quick update on the gravel pit.
Yes, we had a letter that came in today. You may or may not have seen it. It was short notice. It's just one of their standard kind of scope and fee agreements to do the deed research, the initial kind of
Thanks, Andrew.
survey and deed sketch. They want a lump sum of $5,000 to do that. So they will perform deed research of abutting parcels, perform GPS survey of existing monuments and boundary evidence, compile survey data, research, and LiDAR topo into a boundary sketch, and a surveyor's report with any title issues. They're going to do one site visit, and they think that they can complete it within 6 weeks. So that's what we're up to now. There was one question as part of their general provisions on page 2 about risk allocation, and Omer looked at it very briefly here because I didn't understand it. And it basically, I don't know, how would you summarize it? It limits the liability of HEB as far as the project goes, I guess.
No matter what happens,
Right.
they're limited to whatever that amount of money was, the amount of the contract, whatever they're being paid. If something goes wrong, that's all they're gonna be on the hook for, according to what I read in that contract.
Yeah. So that is a little concerning, because if they do tell us that we own it, and then we sell it for more than $50,000 and we don't own it, then that liability falls on somebody. So I probably want to reach out to him to get clarification on that. Omer recommended finding out what the town's liability limit is. It's $2 million. Okay. And I don't know, does anybody else have any suggestions on that topic?
Okay, well, are you comfortable, Okay, except for the liability issue, Jordan, you comfortable with the arrangement on your next step in the plan?
Yeah, the rest of it's pretty simple. It's the deed research and the things we have to have.
Budget?
And it's under the budget that we've got approved so far. We had $8,000 approved at town meeting, this is for 5.
Say that again?
8,000 was approved at town meeting in a warrant, this is for 5,000.
We're under that.
Yes.
So you're comfortable moving ahead with HEB?
The only question I have is the liability part, and I guess I would welcome any recommendations on how to deal with that.
And how are you gonna rectify your question on the liability?
Well, I can reach out to Chris to start with and ask him about it. I don't know if we would want to ask the town lawyer or New Hampshire Municipal.
We might as well start heading off and finding out, what we can do and what we can't do with that pit.
So what, you wanna hold off? Are you?
Andrew, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, sorry, I guess what I'm thinking is, we might wanna hold off on signing this until we can get some more information on the, that risk allocation, or specifically the liability, total aggregate liability of HEB to the client, shall not exceed
50 grand.
50 grand.
That's what George's gonna do with the college, correct?
Right.
So we won't sign it tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'll
gonna
reach
get.
out,
Okay,
and maybe next meeting we'll go over it.
okay, so,
Do you think that's worth contacting our lawyer?
The final signing doesn't need to be done now, we just need a pathway to figure the liability out, and I
Right.
just wanna make sure the overall project is moving in the right direction.
Do you think we should contact New Hampshire Municipal or our lawyer? Or should I just talk to Chris and bring it back? Is it worth talking to our legal people?
Jordan, ask that question again, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you think it's worth contacting our lawyer or New Hampshire Municipal to get some type of
I
opinion?
would start out with Hampshire Municipal first.
Okay,
I talked to Chris, number one, that would be my first phone call. Number two, I would call Natch Graves or Buckley,
okay.
and just get their input. The overall liability of the town, I think, is $2 million. So I don't see this project going above that.
I don't know if there was, I talked to Larry Bixby the other day, who owns Warren Sand and Gravel. And he said, I asked him some general questions on what he thought gravel was worth to the town, not processing it. And he estimated that something like $3 a yard is what a landowner would get, I guess, if you. Yeah, that would be what.
Raw material.
Yeah, our raw material end would be. So if there was 1 million yards, it might be worth $3 million. I don't know how many yards are there, but there's potential that you could go over a $2 million liability policy, yeah, depending.
Well, the survey will guide us on that.
That's true, and we could up the policy for a year, if we're gonna sell it in a year or two, we have to take that into consideration.
Okay. Any more discussion on the gravel pit? Okay, if not, then, let's discuss the FEMA obligations regarding the bridges. Jordan, you want to lead that discussion?
Yes, Chris Fournier from HEB and Paul Hatch from FEMA are going to get together on Thursday, and they're just going to have an internal discussion amongst themselves. They're working their way through the obligation issue. Apparently, FEMA's lawyers, from what I've been told from both parties, have been going through a lot of these agreements from the 2017 storms, and they've decided that, I guess the explanation that came to me was that they've decided that the state of New Hampshire is not uniformly applying the law as far as replacing a bridge or a culvert in kind. There's certain provisions in the law, I guess, that FEMA's lawyers have brought up in regards to this. But I talked to both Chris Fournier and Paul Hatch since then,
Yeah.
and they both think that that shouldn't be an issue. Basically what they're doing is getting together Thursday to line up all of their stuff and get it all ready. So when they push it to the next level, if they get any pushback, they'll be prepared to together to fight any lawyer or anything that's going on. So they have a coordinated attack plan, and they're gonna discuss it Thursday, and then they're gonna send out a summary email to everybody. So it is progressing. Chris also said he contacted the Department of FEMA that handles the obligation funding, which is not Paul Hatch, it's a separate department, and that they claimed that they can obligate the funds without having the full permitting for both bridges, which is what Chris has been telling us, and it's beneficial to the town, because we wouldn't have to front the engineering costs for both bridges 75% of the way through before we got any money obligated, which is not what we want to
Well,
do.
it's common sense to get some money back as we go through this process.
And a guarantee that we're going to get any money back as we get through this process. So they're working on it, and it sounds positive, and they're going to work together to make sure that they are ready to rebut anything that comes up.
Well, I'm happy they're working in a synergistic fashion. It's about time. We've had a lot of phone calls going back and forth.
Yes, I spent a couple hours on the
Good,
phone this
good
week.
direction. Andrew, you got any thoughts on these two bridges?
No, I don't, I mean, I like I guess the way that's being handled.
Okay, Paul?
Paul, do you have anything to add?
I don't, it's just a marathon, it always is, it's a marathon.
I talked to each one of them for an hour.
I know,
Incredible amount of patience.
it's a marathon, you just gotta, just be steady, slow and
The
steady.
problem is FEMA is really just unhappy with all the lingering 2017 storm stuff. So now that they seem to be going through with a more fine-tooth comb.
I just, I found an article about FEMA and how they're changing the way they do business with these disasters because they've been taken advantage of so much. And basically, the article was saying the rules are changing in the 6th inning and you got 3 more innings to go. And it's hurting rural towns, as you can see. Bridge back in the day, and the bridge washed out, and they put culverts there. This is back in around '97, I believe, from the research I did. And they put culverts in, and then in 2011 and 2017, the culverts washed down the stream.
Right.
And then-
So basically, the town's in a hard spot because the state is telling us we can't leave those there. We have to do something about it, they're illegal.
And FEMA only wants to pay for the
And
culverts.
FEMA wants a in-kind replacement, which is culverts, but which is illegal by the state of New Hampshire standards. So we just need to get them to communicate enough so that FEMA understands that we can't legally leave
So
those
off the
culverts.
record, I don't want to be pinned to this, but down the highway department, I have some information that I found, and I kept it, that the selectmen may want to read. That I believe it was Frescon Road, and also, I'm not trying to get you guys confused, but Frescon Road and Rowantown Road, the culverts there. The town was handed money through FEMA back in the 98, 9. And there was a select board member that signed off on it, and it never got repaired. They never got repaired.
I'm assuming we lost our money.
Nope, the town got the money, but they used it elsewhere. I've got the documents down there. So, I hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the butt. It would be, you should stop down sometime, you can read them.
Well, okay.
It's from
for
FEMA.
now,
One problem at a time.
keep going. What you're doing, Jordan, you've got people working in a synergistic fashion, and I think it's going well. Moving on to new business, the Grafton County report, with Homer and Hearn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very quickly, the Grafton County Commissioners met again this morning. We meet every Tuesday morning. On the agenda this morning was a report from the nursing home administrator And the big thing is we're dealing with COVID-19. We've been, our census in the nursing home has been way down, therefore our revenue has been way down, and expenses have been the same or up. So all this information is going to be on the county website with the minutes. We also had a report from the Human Resource Director. We got all kinds of positions opened up. You know, we're looking for help at the county home. We're looking for nurses, RNs, LPNs, LNAs. We provide college reimbursement. We also have some in-house training for LNAs. And we're looking for corrections officers. There's a lot of opportunities up there, and when you work for the county, there's no dips. You get a job up there, and you can stay there till you're ready to retire, and the benefits are great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ahern. Now, is Brent Santee there?
Yes.
Yep, he's sitting in the ground.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
He requested time to speak on the plowing on Somerville Road.
Yes, our concern is, this will be our 8th year, this coming May, that we've owned the camp up here on Hill Road. Concern is, we used to access that thing 4 months out of the year. Snowmobiles, our ATV, and this permission was given to us about 5 years ago from the local.
Could you speak up, please?
We had permission to access that camp 4 months out of the year from Fish and Game about 5 years ago, with the chief of police involved in Wentworth, so we could get up and down the road, because it's a class 6 road, with our ATVs from the bottom of the road to our camp. In the past 4 or 5 years, we haven't been able to access the class 6 road from the class 5 road because of the snow removal being plowed at the end of the road, and we can't get over the bank. I just went up there this morning, because I want to open up the camp Thursday, and I can't even get up there with a 4-wheel drive truck because the snowbank, and the only snow in the whole area, that snowbank is not accessible. It's about 5 feet high, and it's the width of the road. So I'm simply asking that we somehow resolve this snowbank at the end of that class 5 road, at Eric Mackey's driveway, so that we can get back to accessing our camp.
Mr. Santee?
Yes,
Your land is off of a class 6 road, correct?
correct.
Okay. Now, there's a number of class 6 roads in the town of Wentworth. I also have land off of a class 6 road. The snowplow has to come up on a class 5 road, and it's the obligation of the landowner to remove the snow and plow the class 6 road. That's your obligation.
Okay, this is the first I've heard of it. But that's-
So, Arnie, do you mind me adding something? I have RSA I wanted to reference. So RSA 231:93 indicates that municipalities shall not be deemed to have any duty or care whatsoever with respect to construction, maintenance, or repair of class 1, 3, 3A, or 6 highways, or state-maintained portions of class 2 highways. Upon any highway or other way with respect to which a municipality is found to have a duty of care of any kind, its liability shall be limited as set forth in this subdivision. There's that specific RSA. There's other RSAs that go over the various different classes of roads, but a class 6 road specifically, the town has absolutely no. The town does not maintain any class 6 road. I don't know if, Paul, you even want to add anything additional as far as like the class 6 roads, but I mean, it's actually state law that indicates that class 6 roads are not maintained by the town.
Thank you, Andrew.
Sure.
Yeah, so basically we have to plow to Eric's house because that's class 5. So we can't plow into his driveway and put all the snow there. So they have, the only way that they can turn around and get rid of the snow is to go beyond his and put it where it is. So there is 2 ways that we could remedy this, but the burden of proof is going to fall to you. We can't plow the class road, we just can't do it. We could route the snowbank to one side or the other if you can get one of the 2 abutters at the bottom, Francis Muzzy or Eric Mackey, to give us permission to put the snow outside of the road right of way onto one of their sides of the road where it's not going to affect them negatively. We already have a hard time turning around up there, and there's nothing we can do unless one of them at the bottom is willing to work with you. If you can get one of them to do it, then we would have no problem trying to do something as long as they sign something that we can go out of the right of way.
It's gonna be impossible to get them to sign anything. They're very difficult to work with. They're not reasonable. They haven't been friendly ever since we've been here for 8 years, including the people at the Green Camp. So that's almost impossible.
I'm gonna chime in. I don't think Mr. Santi's asking us to plow a class 6 road. I think he's just asking if there's some way that, I understand it's a class 6 road, it's a public right of way, anybody can use it. It's no different than a class 5 road, except we don't maintain it. That's basically the bottom line. He's just asking if there's some way that we can manage the pile of snow. I understand it is a big issue because I pile all of the snow there. I mean, at the height of the winter, the snowbank was probably 12 feet tall, I won't lie to you. Kept pushing it back. I mean, there's a lot of snow that comes up through there and I don't have anywhere to back up.
What we have to do
Right.
as a town is define the exact width of Saunders Hill Road.
That's what I'm saying.
And Andrew, do you have any input on that?
So I've tried to do a significant amount of research. I've gone back
Speak up,
into,
please.
yeah, so I tried to do a significant amount of research, or at least as much research as I could do with the information that I had. And from what I found, there's no indication of exactly how wide that road is supposed to be. There's some vague, I found some vague information that really I can't do much with. I suppose the only other thing that we could do, unless we do some more research, is we could vote on determining what the width would be, since I haven't been able to find anything as of yet.
What's the average width of our roads in the town of Wentworth?
The vast majority of roads, from what I understand, are 3 rods, or 3 rods, 3.5 rods.
50 feet.
3 rods wide, most. There's some that are 2.5 in sections. There's some that you'll read in the book are up to 7 rods wide, which is ridiculous. It's over 100 feet wide, right away.
So,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well,
No.
what I'm saying is we have to, okay, we've got out Mr. Santi. Let's try and decide what's the width of the road.
so
If there's nothing down as a select board, I think we ought to make a statement of this is the width of the Saunders Hill Road.
I don't think
so,
we have the power to do that.
To Paul, right now,
We have to lay
is
it out.
what's the average width of the roads? I know they vary, but what's a fair average?
the fair average is about 3 rods wide. The vast majority of roads are 3 rods wide.
I'd like to make a motion that we take the road and determine that Saunders Hill Road is 3 rods road. 3 rods wide.
Arnie?
Anybody want to second that?
So last week, or last meeting, Francis already indicated that if it's not specifically laid out, a 3 rod road, that the state, or whatever, the precedent is that it is a two-rod road. So unless we produce, this is his claim, I don't know for sure. I assume it's a three-rod road, because it looks like it is. But anyways, if we do anything outside of a two-rod road, he's going to contest it. Which means the town may have to have lawyer fees and things like that. So I'd be very careful about trying to decide what that is without actually knowing. The best way to do it is to find stone walls along the road and measure that distance. And I think under the power line, I think there's 2 sets of walls. And if that's about 50 feet, then you know that that section is 50 feet. It doesn't mean that it's 50 feet all the way up to the Green Camp though. If we can't produce something.
I think to settle this issue, you gotta know what is the width of the road to determine where we can plow the snow. And all I'm trying to do is define that. Either you use the stone walls, or we use the road, the rule of the average width of the road is 3 rods.
So, I'm gonna butt in here, instead of arguing about this tonight, and we're not gonna come to a solution tonight. There's no way it's gonna happen. So, in the meantime, I don't know if any of the selectmen have looked up the RSA 231-27 or RSA 228-35, but I would highly suggest you read those. And I would say that if you're gonna act on any of those RSAs, that you're gonna need a survey of that road to determine the center line. So I think for tonight, we need to settle down a little bit. We've got a long time, we've got 7 or 8 months before we're gonna need to use that road for plowing. And I'm sure a lot can be done between now and November. Mr. Santee had just said he'd like to get up to his camp this Thursday. If the selectmen are okay with it, I'll go up there tomorrow with the backhoe. I'll knock the snowbank over so he can get through it with his car. If the selectmen are okay with that, I went up there last week with the York rake. I tried to York rake the road. I literally had to unhook the York rake, and Alan and I had to push it around by hand to turn it around because you can't turn around up there.
Well, to start with, I wouldn't recommend driving up that road. That's all shaded all the way up there, and there's snowmobiles on certain sections, and I guarantee if you drive up there, it's gonna be wet.
I just walked up here this afternoon, about
Yeah,
a quarter of a mile, it's pretty dry.
I would think it's all softwood through there. I would think you probably don't wanna drive up that road.
But
We've been up there in March before, past years.
No,
I wouldn't go up there and make a mess, I promise you.
Well, it has nothing to do with us, but all the other abutters through there, if it gets rutted up, will have an issue with it.
so it's up to you guys. If you wanna let me go up there with the backhoe and get rid of some of that ice bank, that's the only,
The best solution is to get one of the 2 abutters at the bottom, Eric or Francis, to let us get a little tiny section where it won't matter. It should be something that's reasonable. That's the easiest.
Eric has no.
Laying out
I
roads
know,
is not the easiest.
Eric doesn't
solution.
have any, he doesn't have anywhere to put the snow unless we push it all the way down his driveway.
It's all flat right there. Even when you go off to the fork, there's no room to the right side to crowd the snow off to the
His
right.
fence is right there, it's like a foot off the road.
Even once you get past through there, I mean, I was up there for a year
The
last.
culvert's there.
Okay, I think we're exhausted. I think, Paul, I'd like to give you some homework. Just see if there's some stone walls up there that can guide you on the width of the road. And we'll all review the RSAs. Mrs. Sandy, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for your
I'd like to
time.
move on to an update on the requirements for revaluation of Linda France.
Um,
Did you want this back?
so we didn't make a motion at all about determining the width. Okay.
No.
And if you could give me those RSA references that you just.
Could you send that to all of us, the RSAs?
You didn't get those a couple weeks ago when I sent them all on?
I guess we
That's
can.
what, I just read it from that. 231-27, semicolon 27,
Yeah,
and RSA 228, semicolon 35. I sent it out to you guys on March 24th.
Sorry.
That's all right,
okay.
it's okay.
All right,
You want me to resend this to you, so it's fresh?
Thank you very much, everybody.
I'll just send it now.
I just wanted to update everyone on what's happening with Avatar and the revaluation of properties. Andrew, myself, Avatar, and the Department of Revenue met last Friday to talk about some of the procedures. Everyone's property is going to be totally reevaluated, reassessed. It's happening, most of the field work is gonna be done during the summer, and we should know by early fall what our new assessments are. There's lots of prep work. I've been busy all week doing, mailings for every current use property in the town, which is a lot. There are like 400 properties out of 970 that are in current use. And all these people who receive this mailing, 400 or so, have to get back to me. I have to check their property records, make sure there are current use applications in them, all kinds of things, so that we can pass an audit with fair marks. I guess we have failed a lot in the past, and we're just trying to improve our records. Also, we have to verify all of the veterans' tax credits, which the letters are going out tomorrow. There's a lot of prep work involved, I just want to let you know that, and the residents are receiving all kinds of things in the mail from me, so, that's what's happening with that. And one other thing, not regarding Avatar, is, the planning board would like us to appoint an ex officio, one of the select board members, to sit in on their meetings and vote, if they don't have enough people to vote, sometimes the ex officio will have to vote.
You'd be the tiebreaker too.
And they always treated me as an equal, so.
Okay, so, they would like one of the three of you to be an ex officio, if we want to decide now, or if you want to think about it, or whatever.
I nominate Andrew Lasser.
How often does the planning board meet? I'm just
Once
wondering.
once a meet.
Oh, that's it?
A month.
Monday, first Monday.
Once a meet.
Once a meeting.
Monday, what time?
Six.
Around 6.
6, yes.
How long are the meetings?
It's 6:30 on Mondays.
Oh, it's 6:30?
I put it 6 all day by 6.
First Monday of the month.
The first Monday of the month
That's the
at
thing.
6:30.
And it depends on what we've got on the agenda, how long it goes.
Like an hour or two?
2 hours, I plan on at least 2 hours. The last time it was only an hour because our main purpose did not happen because there was no internet last night.
Arnie, I'd be happy to take that on if you'd like.
Because we are working on, what Lily just talked about, the master plan. No, not, you talking about reevaluation, but we're working on a new master plan. We're only 25 years late in updating the master plan.
Now, this is something that I think needs a motion to appoint Andrew as ex officio.
Are you actually willing to just
No. I honestly, I'd love to learn as much as I can on both.
I make a motion to appoint Andrew ex officio.
I second it.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, I guess that's all.
Okay. I had a couple questions on the current use evaluation for Linda. In the packet, I received one. My mother has 3 for me to do for her, and then I had a client call, so I've got like 7 of these to get out in the next couple weeks. So I had a few questions. First, are these going to be recorded with the Grafton County, like the registry, like normal? So that A10 form that wasn't included in the mailing, you got to fill out the A10 with the current use types, and then pay the fee. Is usually like a $16
No,
fee.
this is only to verify the information that we have on the books already. So if you have a property that's 12 acres, you have, 11 acres in current use, you just have to indicate that on a hand-drawn map.
But if the types have changed, you would then have to go to that A10 form. You'd have to redo
The
that.
types of what?
The current use types. Like if you built the field and it's no longer timberland, you have to show that on the map. Now, your A10 form that's at the
Yeah.
registry is not correct.
Well, it will be reviewed by Avatar, all the changes, anything that you have will be reviewed by Avatar. You need to indicate any changes on that map.
So they're not requesting the filing fee or the A10
Not
form, they
yet.
just want the maps.
Yes,
Or
not
updated
yet,
maps.
yeah.
Okay.
If something needs to be updated, I don't know what that procedure is like. I'm sure they will make you do a new current use app.
It's everything that you're already asking for, there's just an extra 2-page form and the filing fee for the county. That's the standard update. So I was assuming that that was what they were requesting. Because normally if you change anything, it gets recorded.
Yeah, no, they only requested that we send out the letter with the request for a map and the grade, that matrix that shows the grading the location and the soil and the.
Okay.
That's all that they required. Then I think when they get these things back, and if they see there's any differences against the current records, then that's when you'll be contacted and adjustments would be made.
Okay, because it's been quite a while, usually almost every property has some type of,
It's been 5 years since they verified it. It's supposed to happen once every 5 years. I don't know how thorough it was 5 years ago.
mine I did 8 years ago, and I have never updated it, this will be the first time.
Well, then the last 5-year cycle wasn't handled properly, I would imagine.
Okay, all right, I just wanted, because I'm gonna fill out like 6 or 7 of these forms in the next week, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's all that they're requiring right now.
Okay, that's good to know.
Are there any other questions on the reevaluation?
Arnie, before we go into the non-public, I have a couple things to say though,
Sure.
or to bring up. So 2 things, I spoke with George Morrow, regarding the ambulance service meeting coming up on the 20th. He's not able to meet that, or make that meeting, and it just so happens we have a select board meeting that night. So, I'm going to be able to go myself. So I'm not sure what we're going to do about, as far as having some type of,
Representation.
representation there, exactly. I did want to bring that up.
Could I just interrupt?
Hmm.
Later on in the meeting, I was going to bring up the fact that I am going to be on vacation for the meeting of the 20th. And I will also not be here that Thursday to put together an agenda or anything. So I don't know if you want to cancel that meeting and just put it off unless there's something very important that has to be discussed. But you might want to consider canceling that meeting. And also Martha Trott, who would normally take over for me in taking minutes, will be on vacation as well.
What's the date?
April 20th?
I think it's the next
Check the
meeting.
computer. Is that this one right here? Something. I don't know if it's-
I will be signing vendor checks and payroll checks.
Deb,
Arnie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm listening. I'm trying to.
Yeah, the screen went dead for a second, but he's,
What I'm hearing from Linda, the next meeting, she's not gonna be available, and Martha Trott's not gonna be.
right.
And
Deb,
Chief Trot's gonna be accompanying Martha Trot, so he won't be here either.
he's still
Deb-
there.
Deb Velk, the treasurer, will be able to,
Hang on just a minute. There's some technical difficulties. Let's see if he's gonna reboot the computer.
I'm gonna use the bathroom while waiting.
We'll give it a minute.
are
Yeah,
you gonna talk about the microphone?
yeah, and once we get him back on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, once Arnie's back here, there's no need for Zoom anymore.
Ah,
Well, there is until the executive order is lifted.
Oh, you have to do it by Zoom? I thought YouTube was close enough.
Well, it's the same thing though, right?
Has to be available to everyone, not everyone is on YouTube, but everyone has a phone that they can dial
Yeah.
into.
I got you.
You're just still gonna go through the open for public comments. And if no one has anything else.
That perhaps we should,
Go ahead.
huh?
Go ahead.
I'm listening.
Okay, that perhaps we should cancel the next meeting, which is April 20th, because I'll be gone. I won't be able to put together an agenda, or I won't be at the meeting to take minutes. And Martha Trott is also on vacation, so she is my
You're
backup,
breaking up like crazy.
okay? Anyway, Deb Velk will be able to write the paychecks and the vendor checks, and Andrew and Jordan could come in to sign them, so that would be covered. But the meeting, there is nobody to set it up or whatever, so I think it's best to cancel it.
And if something important comes up, we could do a Zoom ahead of time.
I don't have any problem canceling the next meeting. I just want to make sure that we do, we do all of our jobs that we're supposed to do. If, Andrew, if you and Jordan can sign the checks, work that out with Debbie Bell and Linda, you're going to be away that week.
Yes,
Is that correct, Linda?
yes. I'm away from Thursday to Thursday.
Okay. You just work it out ahead of time, and as long as we have coverage, we don't need to have a meeting.
Okay,
We'll just follow up at the next one.
Arnie, Paul has a question.
I just wanted, it's a tough time of year for me to go a month without having a meeting, because this is the time of year I'm buying stuff that you guys usually have to sign on. In fact, I've got 2 or 3 things down there already for the next meeting that I didn't wanna bring to this meeting because it was too late. And I was really hoping by the next meeting that we were gonna be able to hire a 3rd person. So
Schedule one for next Tuesday?
if you guys think we can hash some stuff out in a non-public, because I really don't wanna go a whole month. I don't want to have to go until the first week of May before we hire somebody and give them another 2 weeks to give their 2-week notice and everything else. I think we need to hire somebody ASAP.
Right.
Well, we could have a select board meeting that's, just kind of short and sweet.
That's fine, I'm just letting you know. I mean, taking notes to a quick meeting is easy.
Okay, and I don't see any reason we can't have a meeting next Tuesday. Linda, does that work out?
yeah,
We could see how the non-public goes too, and
Okay.
then figure it out and post it.
yeah, next Tuesday would be okay.
Okay, so that's an option. Let's just see what comes out of this non-public first before we.
Okay,
Okay,
I make a motion to cancel the meeting on April 20th.
I'll second it.
I second it.
Well,
I vote yes.
but yes,
But yes.
I guess a little bit of a delay there, Arnie. So
I'm sorry.
one other thing I wanted to bring up, and that's in respect to the issue we've been having this entire meeting with you. You hearing us, and honestly, the speaker from the machine as well. I think we'd be doing the right thing if we were to purchase some type of speakerphone device that we could hear you on, or anybody else that needs to get on a Zoom meeting, or meeting in general. It would have a microphone and a speaker built into it. I've already been doing some research with Dave as well. Dave made a recommendation on a specific device. We talked about it a little bit more. We could be looking at about $250 for a device that could handle this entire room without a problem. I mean, just myself and maybe one other person, we could go with a smaller device, but something like, there's a device called the Jabra Speak 710. It's around $250 depending on where you buy it from, and it would solve any problems that we have with any of the Zoom meetings or online meetings in general. In all honesty, it's gonna be something that we're gonna need, that we're gonna wanna get rid of anytime soon, to be honest.
So is that gonna benefit people like that are sitting here as well, to talk so Arnie can hear them?
Exactly.
That's a great
This is
idea.
something that would be sort of an area mic, that everybody in the room could participate in. And everybody on the Zoom meeting would hear them much, much better than what Arnie's dealing with right now.
So is it a speaker as well as a microphone?
Correct.
Okay.
I would encourage that, that's for sure.
Yeah, if it's a speaker and a microphone together, why not?
Where would we get the money for budget?
Is that
I have
something-
$2,000 in the equipment budget, and if nothing else breaks all year, it'll be good.
Okay.
It's $250, I'm sure.
Jordan, Arnie, what do you guys think about that? I think it's the right thing to be honest.
Heck, man, I'll delegate to you.
Well, you're above my pay grade when it comes to technology here. But I think to run this meeting more cohesively, it would make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to purchase a speakerphone for Zoom meetings.
Okay,
I'll second.
but yes.
I vote yes. Speaking of that, has anybody tried to contact us via the YouTube chat or Zoom or anything? Should we check, has anybody?
Have you seen anything in chats or YouTube or?
I have not seen anything on chat today. I checked with YouTube a little while ago.
Okay.
We do have one additional participant on Zoom.
Okay, well, that's fine, if nobody's made any type of chat comments or anything?
Yeah, we just wanna make sure if anybody has anything to say, that we can
Okay.
give them the
Yeah.
opportunity.
No public chat at this point.
Thank you.
That's all I got, Arnie.
So,
Okay.
I need a quick,
If there's, the last thing is any more, any other people that wanna come in on public comments?
Paul has a subject.
it's not gonna be public, I need to do a second non-public, but it's gonna be so fast you don't even know, I gotta explain something to you that
Okay, well, let's,
it's not about hiring or,
if there's nobody else there with a public comment, then I'm gonna make a motion that we go into non-public.
And the RSA.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be,
You guys are gonna read the RSA, I don't have it.
okay, you wanna read it?
RSA 91-A, colon 3, comma 2B. The hiring and firing of employees.
No, that was, this is the, this specifically the hiring of any person.
Commissioner.
Sure, okay, we're back.
Okay, now, we moved from the non-public into the public, and, in summary, our non-public was a discussion of, potential employees for the highway position. It was discussed, we made a, plan of action, we're gonna execute on it, and I'll make a more determined decision next Tuesday. Are there
Ernie,
any other comments?
I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the recent non-public session.
Say again now?
I'm making a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public.
Good point.
I'll second it.
I second it.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Vote yes.
Okay. And if there's nothing else, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting.
I second that.